Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday before Christmas Friday. It is time for just a word from the Word. Our passage this morning, we're back in the book of Luke, this time chapter 2, verses 10 through 12. This is when the angels visited the shepherds. King James says it this way. And the angels said unto them, the shepherds, fear not. For behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. I love that word, all. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, which was common, but lying in a manger. This week, as we have reflected on Christmas, Monday we talked about the unbelief of Zechariah. We talked on Tuesday about the acceptance of Mary. On Wednesday we talked about the wisdom of Elizabeth. Yesterday we talked about the obedience of Joseph. This morning we're talking about the humility of Jesus. I think about this. You probably do too. So this is not a new thought. This is not some grand revelation. Um, but it is a beautiful thought. I know I've mentioned it. Jesus was probably not born on December 25th, but it is the day the church set aside to celebrate God robing himself in flesh and dwelling among us. I've had my back and forth with Christmas. Should I celebrate? Should I not? Should I decorate? Should I not? Are trees evil? Are they not? Are they pagan? Are they Christian? Are they not? I have run down the gamut of should I not when it comes to Christmas. And maybe you have too. But every time I go down that rabbit hole, I always come to the conclusion that no, Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. It is more likely he was born August, September-ish time. Hebrew calendar-wise, Israel calendar-wise, it would make much more sense that Jesus was most likely born on the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. That would make much more sense biblically and Hebraically and prophetically. That would make much more sense. But the truth of the matter is that God did robe himself in flesh. The beauty of that is that God, as the great King of the universe, the one that spoke the worlds into existence, who could have, frankly, destroyed Herod, built a new temple and be born there, or a new palace and be born there, chose. That thought blows my mind every time. That God chose to be born amongst what you and I would probably consider nobodies. To be born among animals. There's debate. I've read the scholarly writings where people thinks that it wasn't really like a cave, that it was more likely a manger, the bottom level of a home where the animals were kept at night, but it was still among animals. It still wasn't in the main part of the home. However, you see that, and I know I'm going to get a ton of people probably going, Jan, what are you talking about? We can talk later. But the truth of the matter is that God intentionally chose humble surroundings for his birth. Humble surroundings. It wasn't the great kings of the world that God sent angels to. He sent angels to lowly shepherds at night on a hillside, outcasts in some ways because shepherds were dirty. They were outside of the city. They were lowly. God intentionally chose humility in which to reveal himself. There's a song that I learned as a little girl at Calvary Tabernacle. Jesus came into this world. That day Jesus came in a very special way. But if he can change that place, speaking of the manger, that humble place, into a place of grace. I know I'm not getting the words just right, but think of what he can do in our hearts. I am nothing. I don't have a great name. Yet God chose me. He still chooses humble places to reveal himself. He chose you. Some of you may feel like you're a nobody, but God chose you to indwell, to fill with his presence. God still chooses humble places to reveal himself. And while this morning's just a word from the word, could be, we need to humble ourselves, and we do. God forgive us for thinking that we're more than what we really are. To be truthful with you, and this might hurt some of you, and it might just offend some of you. You ain't nothing but a dirt ball. All we are is glorified dirt. We are made and fashioned from the dust of the ground. That's it. But this is the beauty. This is what gets me every year at Christmas. God chooses to dwell in us. He still chooses humble places to show forth his glory. This morning's just a word from the word. Oh, be thankful that he still chooses humble places in which to dwell. He still chooses humble hearts in which to show forth his glory. This Christmas, be grateful that God chose the humble place of your heart to dwell. And that is just a word from the word. Now, Monday, I am not going to be doing any kind of devotion, at least not online. I'll be in the word, don't worry. And I'll be in prayer, don't worry. But Monday, I'm taking off because I want to spend some time thanking God for choosing a humble place to show forth his grace. and you should too. This has been just a word from the Word. God bless you. Have an amazing celebration of Christ's birth and worship Him for still choosing humble places. God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you Tuesday morning.